Hello and welcome to PVAMU's Coaches Corner. I'm your host Caleb Carter, and this is the show where we like to talk to the coaches and some players about what's been going on this season, what's going on in the off season, and what to expect come next season. And joining me today, we have a player from the soccer team, Miss Randi Blair. Randi, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So, I mean, to start off, I guess I would ask you, how has the off season been going for you guys over at the soccer field?
It's been good. Working really hard. We have about, I think, 12 or 13 of our returners, and I know we have some players coming in soon. So it's been pretty good. We've been doing strength and conditioning, I think, every day pretty much throughout the week, as well as practice. So still working as hard as we do during the regular season.
Right, and a little bit of background about yourself. I want to know, what attracted you to soccer and PV specifically?
To be honest, I have an older brother who played soccer, and I think he just gave me my first ball when I was really young, maybe about 4 or 5, and I just never gave it up.
Right.
So, yeah, just watching him made me want to play, and, as I became older, I became better, and just Prairie View was, I think, the perfect place for me to continue to play as well as get my education. So.
Right. Now, when I was reading your bio, it said that you, if there was one other sport that you would play, if not soccer, it would have been volleyball. And we talked a little bit about that off camera, how you played volleyball in high school. So was there like any competing interest, heading into college?
A little bit. I think I loved volleyball just because it was different. I had been playing soccer forever, and then I think I just kind of picked up volleyball a little bit in middle school, but it wasn't too serious about it. And then in high school, I was like, I really like this. And, just a break from, like, the regular soccer schedule. So I knew that I didn't want to play volleyball in college, but I still loved it. And I think that if things were to be different, I probably would have chose volleyball. But, I still love soccer. So.
Right. So when we look to this past season, you guys just won the SWAC championship, and you're a junior, so I believe you've been a part of 2 out of 3 SWAC championships, correct?
Yes.
So what's been going right for you guys to where you guys just win so often?
I don't think I could put a pin on like one specific thing. I think that just our team in general, especially like starting from my freshman year, we had a really good team culture. I think we focus on the fundamentals a lot. Like we're always just working on what works for us,
right.
If that makes sense. We don't really worry about other teams per se. We just, we go into every game thinking about what we need to do best. And I think that just works for us. And like I said, I think the team culture is great. We don't have any issues amongst, team. Like we all know that the common goal is to win the SWAC tournament and go to the NCAA playoffs. So that's what we strive to do every year.
Right. Now, and we talk about that team culture because we had Coach Carvello on the show last week, and she was just fired up talking about how she wants to break records and win all these championships right out the gate when she got here. So, what part does she play in you guys' development with the soccer team?
A huge role. I think when I first got here as a freshman, obviously I was a little bit nervous, but she basically was just like, it's soccer, regardless of who we're playing and, what's going on. Like, you've been playing this game forever, so stick to the basics. And I think she pushes us a lot, and it just works. Like, I don't really know how to describe it other than just, like, we're able to listen to her, and, we take her criticisms as well as, the support. And not only that, we support each other. So I think that she's played a huge role in our team's success. So. Right.
But we know the contributions of Coach Carvello that she's played, nationally, internationally with the Canada team. But when we look about the team specifically, you guys had some outstanding players. You talk about Quinn Josiah, Kalia Brown, Savannah Powell, and the list goes on, Adrienne Nugent and yourself. So how does it feel being a part of such a talented roster?
It's great. I think we surprise each other every day at practice with just, tricks, moves, everything. And like I said, we're really supportive. So it's like we each want to see each other do better, regardless of, how you played in the last game or just how you played in practice. We're very supportive. We have a lot of fun at practice, to be honest. And so, you know, we have a lot of players who are constantly raising the bar for each of us, and I think that that's the culture that we're trying to establish and that we have established. And I think that when the new freshmen come in, or just new transfers, new players in general, that's the standard we have set, and that they have to catch up, honestly.
Right.
So yeah, it's amazing, you know, playing alongside a lot of these players, and they're continuously breaking records, and I'm just there to cheer them on,
right,
and hopefully do the same myself. So.
Right, now I'm gonna ask you to take me behind the scenes, but I don't want you to reveal too much, because you talked about some of the outstanding tricks that you guys would pull in practice. So what was some of the most outstanding things that you've seen one of your teammates do in practice?
I don't know if I could name just one. I mean, I could take practice this morning. We, like you talked about Quinn Josiah, and we also have another keeper, Medina Lual. And I mean, just seeing our keepers fly around and save these, like, we have great shots on goal, honestly.
Right.
And I mean, if you've come to any of the games, you can see that. But our keepers just, I mean, they fly around like crazy, and they're just blocking shots left after right, left after right. And I think that's one of the most amazing tricks for me. I'm always so excited when Medina saves these crazy shots. I'm just like, how does she even get up there like
Right.
that? So yeah.
Right, now I kind of want to circle back to talking about the SWAC championship that you guys won this past year, because I mean, we were all on the edge of our seats that night, and it's kind of funny talking to the soccer players and Coach Carvello and getting their different perspectives of what was going through their mind when Khalid hit that game winner. So I asked that same question to you. What was going through your mind when she hit that game-winning penalty kick?
To be honest, I had my eyes closed, so I just couldn't breathe. I was praying, just, you know, Lord, just please help this goes in. But just when I saw that it went in, and it's honestly hard to describe. It was just like, you know, the team just erupts and just, you know, cheering. We all take off to go, not only to go meet Kalia, but Sierra had made some huge saves to get us to that point.
Right.
So, yeah, it was just amazing. And then, you know, the stands erupted. We have such great support from our fans, and they came onto the field. So, I mean, it almost gave me deja vu from my freshman year, because it was a similar situation. But, yeah, it's just amazing. I think about it quite often.
Really?
It was amazing. I don't even know if I have another word to describe it.
Right. I mean, and let's move on into this coming year, because we talk about Quinn Josiah, and she's just one of the few seniors and graduate students that's getting ready to leave. And you're a captain of the team. So how is it going to be for you personally, you know, kind of bringing up these young kids, making sure they get right and maintain that winning culture?
I think my goal as a captain is just to continue to help the freshmen in any way that I can. I know when I was a freshman, the seniors that we had, the captains that we had, they just did their best to try to include us in everything, and just, you know, any questions we had, or, you know, just trying to get us to understand that, you know, even though this is much different than high school, it's still the same concept, and we just need to you know, do our best and keep the standard that we have already. So I think that that's my goal as a captain, is just to help them to make sure that they know, you know, we've won 2 SWAC championships in 3 years. So you kind of have big shoes to fill, but you're more than capable of doing that. So.
Right. And as we look forward into next season, I mean, you know, because like you say, it's big shoes to fill. Two SWAC championships in 3 years. So, I mean, I guess my last question to you would be, for the people at home watching, for all those alumni, those parents, those future soccer players who want to come to PV, what can we expect come this season?
Hopefully another SWAC championship. I think that, you know, like you mentioned earlier, we did lose a lot of seniors, and we did lose a lot of, like, key role players on our team. But I think that we have people who are willing to step up to those roles, and I think that the goal is to try to do it again, and to, you know, go to the NCAA playoffs again, and, you know, try to do our best as well. So I think I would just say to those people who, you know, are looking at us or watching us, you know, just thank you for your support, and you know, just cheer us on as we try to do it again.
Right. Well, Ms. Randi Plair, I know that I certainly will be cheering you on, along with everybody here at KPVU-TV. And that was Ms. Randi Plair from the soccer team. When we come back, we will be talking with two people from the bowling team, Coach Glenn White and his player, Ivelisse, when we come back after the break.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
What do an aerospace engineer, cancer immunologist, and bat scientist all have in common? We all have cool jobs in STEM fields. Whether it's building robots or learning to code, girls everywhere are finding their passion for science, technology, engineering, and math through positive role models and mentors. So dare to dive in, get connected, and explore. You never know what your future may hold. Learn more about these and even more cool jobs at shecanstem.com.
Hello and welcome back to PVAMU's Coach's Corner. Today joining me, we have the coach of the bowling team, Coach Glenn White, and one of his players, Ivelisse Reyes. I want to make sure I get your name right. Please excuse me for messing that up earlier. But Coach and Ms. Reyes, I want to start with this. Because, I mean, the bowling team is one of the most phenomenal teams, if not the most, on campus. So I just wanted to read these accomplishments out to you, because I feel like they need to get their due justice. Coach of the Year, 2 first-team All-SWAC players, 1 second-team All-SWAC. That was Asia Rain, Crystal Klein, and Stephanie Vasquez. The 4th regular season title and Bowler of the Year, all hardware that PV can lay claim to. And not to be outdone yourself, you were named to the National 10-Pin Coaches Association for the All-Academic Team. I mean, just an outstanding team, not to be understated. So Coach and Ms. Reyes, I want to ask you both the same question. I mean, how do you do it, for one?
Do you want her to go first or myself?
Is it either or?
I
would
let her
say
answer.
for as a student athlete aspect and as a player, it's more of the dedication that each team member has and all the hard work that we do. Also, Coach has done a lot for us when it comes to practice and stuff. He's able to see what we need to improve and be like, hey, work on this, work on that, and that kind of has driven us to the point where we're at to be able to win consistently.
Right, Coach.
Well, as even mentioned, this comes down to dedication to what your purpose is, and it really speaks a lot to the efforts of all the members of the team. I continuously talk about how proud I am of the whole team, especially when it comes to academics, because this just recently, all members of the team were on the honors program. Mm-hmm. All members of the team are all American academics this year, and our team GPA is 3.7. So we put a lot of emphasis on academics as a whole, team-wise. As far as our success on the lanes, we continuously try to keep that winning culture. So right. When you come into this program, there's a history that you're coming into and a culture that you're coming into, and it's about winning championships.
Right.
So our goal every year from the beginning, regardless to who is on the team, our goal from the beginning of the year is to win a championship. And so, it's a testament again to the efforts of the team, and we'll continue to to work in that direction.
Now, Coach, to that point, I asked this question to you, Ms. Reyes. I mean, because, like Coach said, you guys are top 10 in academics when it comes to the bowling team. So how is it that you maintain such academic success? Because I know that it could easily, you could easily forget about one and focus on the other. So how do you maintain that success on and off the lanes?
I would have to say it takes a lot of time management and a lot of dedication. There have been times where I've had to, because we have student athletes are required to do study hall when they first come in their freshman year, and that was something that actually helped me. Because coming fresh out of high school, I was juggling a whole bunch of stuff, so I didn't really have time management. So being able to go into study hall and them having this opportunity for us, even if you have a high GPA and you don't have to go in, you can still go in, dedicate time to studying. And one thing I would say is time management is one big thing. That's what really has helped me. Right,
and I guess a follow-up question to you, what brought you to PV to begin with? What put PV's bowling team on your radar?
So my brother, I tell the story all the time. My brother worked at the bowling alley in Tomball, and I would go there just to play with my friends and stuff like that. And this was prior to us having a facility here to practice. I would notice PV bowling team practicing at the bowling alley, and my brother was telling me, he was like, yeah, they're a really good team, like, you should get into it, like, you could get a scholarship. And I was like, a scholarship for bowling? I've never heard of that.
Right.
So I did my research, and my dad helped me a lot, so did my mom. They would take me to travel for tournaments and stuff like that. So then also knowing one of my friends who used to be on the team who graduated, she introduced me to PV's campus, and when I stepped foot on campus just to visit her, I fell in love with the community and with the space, because it is a beautiful campus.
Right.
And that really is what brought me here.
Right. Now, Coach, she just said something that was pretty interesting to me, that you guys didn't have a facility just a few years ago, but yet and still you guys have reached such high heights. So give me the secret sauce as to how you guys did it.
Well, it wasn't easy. I will tell you that. Before we actually were able to have our lanes on campus, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of dedication, not only on my part, but the team's part. And those players that were here during that time, I will say that Ivelisse and everyone else on the team right now should really give those players props, because they set the groundwork for this program. They went through the struggles of going back and forth 30 miles one way to go to practice every day, every evening, and still put the effort in to win championships, because that was when we won our first championship back during that time. I think their success really brought attention to the bowling team on campus, that it was very limited during that time as far as what was going on with the bowling team. But that first championship, I think, really pushed to get us some attention and to get more support. And from that point, the conversation started about trying to get lanes on campus so we wouldn't have to travel as far, and knowing that if we were able to get lanes on campus, we could be even more successful and continue in that path.
Right. Now, Coach, I mean, you just said it, because, I mean, we already know that bowling is a mental sport, right? And not having lanes on campus, that just increases the mental strain on those players. So, and I guess I asked this question to the both of you, and you can answer this in whichever order that you would prefer. How is it that you deal with those mental challenges, and how is it that you keep the players' minds, getting ready for those tournaments?
You did hit the nail on the head when you mentioned this is a very mental sport, because once you get the physical part of the game skill down, it is 80% mental. It is not easy for them or myself in that matter when it comes to the mental during the time of competition. There's a lot that goes on. They have to really maintain a level head in order to compete and to compete at the highest level. There are ups and downs, there are disappointments, there's frustrations. This is a game that you can't compete and be successful when you are too emotional.
Right.
Okay, so you know, it's like anything else. You have to have a short memory. You know, if you make a mistake, you have to learn how to let it go. When you lose a match, you have to learn how to let it go and get ready for the next match. So the mental part of the game is something that we really try to put effort into. I talk about a lot that we have to practice on mental just like we practice on the physical.
Right.
So we put ourselves sometimes in positions in practice to say, okay, you're in this position, this is what you're looking at.
Okay.
You're in this position in competition, how are you going to handle it, how are you going to deal with it? So we try not to wait until competition to work on the mental game.
Right. And Ms. Vasquez, I asked that same question to you. How do you deal with that mental stress that comes with bowling?
It has been a challenge, but I was able to manage it really well. I tend to, like he said, have a short memory. So when it's time when he says, okay, we're going to do competition play at practice, I am quick to just turn that light on in my head and be like, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what's on the line. And that kind of helps motivate me into when I'm at competition, making it a lot easier for me to be there for my team.
Right. And I once again have to apologize. I feel like I've been saying Miss Vasquez the entire time. Let me get your name right. Ivelisse Reyes. Let me look into the camera when I say this. Ivelisse Reyes is the player that we have today, and she's an amazing player and an amazing student as well. And to continue on, I guess my question to both of you would be, because when we look at bowling and we look at, well, I guess let me concentrate with you, Ms. Reyes, because we have Asia Wren, we have Crystal Klein, we have Stephanie Vasquez all on the team. So how is it, going into those tournaments, going into practice, just being so competitive with those players?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't really say it's really competitive individually because we're still there for our team as a whole. I just look up to them because they have been breaking a lot of records, and that kind of motivates me to one day be where they're at. Right.
Now, Coach, and I asked that same question to you because you have such special players on the team. So how is it knowing that you have these great players, but you can't get too big-headed, right? Heading into these tournaments. So how do you keep them level-headed going into these tournaments?
Well, just knowing that we're not the only ones that have great players.
Right.
There are teams throughout our conference and also nationally that have great players. So what you really want to do is trying to keep all members of the team focused, because in order to stay at that level, you have to continue to work on your skill. Every tournament is a new challenge. Every tournament we have new goals, and every time that you roll the ball, you're trying to get better. That's the message that I try to get through to them, because even at that time or at this point in their career, they haven't reached their max. So I'm steady pushing them to go higher. They've achieved a lot this year, but in my mind, we can still be better than what we are.
Right, and Coach, you talk about being better because we know the SWAC championship, the results may not have been, what you guys may have wanted, falling short in the semifinal. But we do have new goals to be achieved with the NCAA tournament coming up, and you guys are hosting for the South region. So what can we expect coming into that tournament?
Well, we're not actually participating.
Okay.
In the tournament. Prairie View A&M is the host for the regional, which is a first this year ever in this sport. We were to host last year for the first time, but because of COVID, like basketball, they moved all teams to one location. But we will actually be hosting this year, and we host in the South region. So there's 4 teams that will be participating in that regional. We have the responsibility as the host to make sure that that event is run properly, that we have everything in place as far as managing the event so that all the participants, coaches, athletes will leave there with the proper feeling of they were part of a national championship. And we want to represent Prairie View at the highest level that we can because we are a part of that national championship. So we're looking at not only hosting this year, but we're actually committed to hosting up until 2026.
Right.
So we're hosting at one of the top facilities in the country as far as bowling, at the bowling headquarters with the Bowling Hall of Fame. So we're looking forward to a great event, and we want to make sure we do it the right way.
Right now, Coach, and you mentioned how big this is for Prairie View. I mean, and it isn't to be understated because, I mean, when you look at Prairie View and a HBCU, you would have never thought that we would be able to host such a huge event nationally. So what does it mean to you, right, in the grand scheme of things, that Prairie View is hosting this event?
Well, it means a lot because it not only is representative of having this opportunity to showcase Prairie View A&M University, but it helps with the program to let the nation know that Prairie View A&M is here and that Prairie View has a valid bowling program. We were disappointed that we didn't make it to the event as a participant, but it just gives us more motivation to try to be there next year and not only host but be participating in the event. But I think it's huge, not only for the Prairie View A&M bowling team, but Prairie View athletics and Prairie View A&M University as a whole.
Right. And Coach, to be honest with you, I mean, although Prairie View isn't participating, we do know that Prairie View has such a prolific bowling team with Miss Reyes, with these other players, with yourself being at the helm, being the coach. And I have to be honest with you, Coach, and Miss Ivelisse Reyes, thank you for joining us today. I mean, it was a pleasure talking to both of you. And that'll be it for the Coach's Corner. Once again, we produce this show every day of the week at 3 o'clock. I'm Caleb Carter. Thank you for watching.